Maybe I'm foolish, maybe I'm blind, thinking I can see through the...
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in. Thank you very much for joining us here on the first ever episode of the Welcome to Arena podcast. My name is Correct Wisdom, and I'm going to be your host. Here tonight, I am joined by two amazing pros from the HPL NA scene who are going to give us a little insight into what goes on in the background, maybe the day-to-day workings of how that pro team works, and everything else they have, opinions based on the game, and anything else we can get around to. So without further ado, let's take this moment to introduce one of those two amazing players, the first one of the two today. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring in Mr. Undead Essence. How are we doing today, sir? Welcome, and first of all, introduce yourself to the guys at home that maybe don't know you. Yeah? Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what's cracking.
Hello, I'm Undead. I played Tarkov almost every day. I've been streaming Tarkov for maybe last 3 years. I've been playing since 2019 maybe, and I've been playing Arena since the day it launched. I got I got to play it immediately when it launched, so that was fun, and I've been playing ever since. Probably have
Awesome.
around 1,800 hours on Arena, just crazy, but yeah, that's me.
Casual 1,800 hours, not quite like the Don Pacellis of our lives that have got the,
Arena, specifically Arena,
Specifically Arena, by the way, that's it. Big point to bring out. So, ladies and gentlemen, one of the first two people we're going to get into talk to tonight, Undead Essence, like we said, member of Team Unknown, would not be here today without one of the other 4 team members on that lineup, who is thankfully our second guest for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, let's bring in the second face of the scene. It's Barbaric. And I know I don't have a cat picture to represent Barb, ladies and gentlemen. You are graced with the real man himself. Barb, welcome in. How are we doing?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. Sir, introduce yourself to the guys at home. Anybody that maybe doesn't know too much about who you are or what you do, or anybody that does but they just forgot. Time to remind them.
Yeah, hey guys. My name is Barb. People call me Barbaric, Barb, whatever fits about. But yeah, my name is Barb. I've been playing Tarkov Arena for the past year since its release, basically. I think I've clocked in over 1,500 hours myself. I play for Team Unknown. Currently IGing and for them. Um, and yeah, just very hardcore Tarkov Arena gamer, I guess.
Both very seasoned within the scene, you could say. I think between the two of you, probably combined more hours than the majority of most of the D+ warriors out there in the ranked queues. I think we would all agree. Ladies and gentlemen, for joining us in here tonight in the chat, please don't be afraid to shout out, talk to us whilst we are engaging this podcast. It is a conversational scene, all right? We are just having a chill chat on the couch with Cracked and the pros. And if you want to get involved, we would like you to do so as well. There is going to be a section a little bit later on, as thank you, Mr. Ken Sekimaru, coming in with the raid. We are going to be checking in with you guys in chat to get some of those questions, which we will hand over to the guys here to see if we can get some answers for you, if there's anything you're interested in. As well as that, we have got a couple of clips up in store for you today too. I guess, back up some of the conversations we're going to be having, right, gents? Maybe some funny moments, or maybe something you guys have got to share with news to the team or the players inside of it. Some bits, maybe no spoilers just yet, folks. We'll get to that in a little bit coming on in the conversation. And also, Cracked might have been cooking in the background, all right? That's all I'll say. We've got a little surprise for the two of you tonight, and for the folks at home as well, so I'm looking forward to it. But first of all, we're going to lead off with a nice easy one. We'll start off asking one at a time. We'll lead with Barbaric first, seeing as how Undead got the front door first. Barb, for you, if you think about it as a whole, what is it about Arena that you enjoy most? What is it that draws you in for that 1,500 hours worth of experience that keeps you coming back?
So when I first heard of Arena, like when they first made the announcement that they're making a 5v5 kind of shooter, my idea was like, okay, it's kind of like CS or something. Um, and I was like, shit, CS with, Tarkov elements. That sounds exciting. So I got instantly like interested in it. As the game came out and was rolled out, I realized that I just have a really good knack for the competitive aspect of the game. I've played competitive games, but I've never played them on a high level like this. Um, and coming into the game, I just felt right. It has Tarkov PvP. I can carry forward all the mechanics I've learned over the past 7,000 hours. I just know how the game functions, how it works, how to use what I know to my advantage. And as I grew to play this game more, I realized that the hardcore aspect of the competitive environment was just more appealing. Like no HUD or no armbands, like you don't know who your enemy is. You have to remember who your teammates are, what the map is like, because there's nothing to help you. So I think that kind of got me hooked in. And then Team Fight tournament came around, and it just had me going. I kept going until Blast Gang came out, and ever since Blast Gang has come out, I've just not stopped playing this game. It's really addicting.
It's good to hear. That's it, absolutely. And as we did see one of the followers coming in there, thank you very much, Cruisin. Welcome to the library. You get a little wiser today, sir. Not that that kind of person needs to, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, in the future, we might be able to wrangle a Cruisin in to come and have a chat with them about their pro experience as well. But no, you're absolutely right, Barb. And I think some arguments that we have towards like enjoying Arena itself is there is a hardcore aspect to it that gets on your nerves a little bit, right? It can
Yeah.
grind, it can make you get frustrated, and I think every once in a while you just want to like push yourself past that margin, and like being able to handle that frustration and still kill somebody in a round, or win the round overall from the objective. It's a big little mental barrier I think a lot of people could do with reassessing once in a while, right? Just taking a deep breath and realizing that it is only a game. It does get frustrating, but I think with a lot of hard effort and commitment to like the fundamentals, like you said, it really does push you up to that next level, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things where at first when you start playing, you don't really know how to navigate yourself in the space. Because a lot of people are also doing the same thing. When the game first came out, I don't think so anyone really knew how to play it correctly, or how to really understand to you know just play around each other. That was the biggest key challenge. Like I remember so many team kills. But as you learn to grow in the game, you learn to realize that if you just have a mental image in your mind, you can make it happen. It's fine. So I guess just those other challenges aside from the game being challenging, that is what keeps you going. And I definitely can agree with the difficulty aspect of it, but you learn as you go.
Yeah, you can't. They say through the fire and the flames. If you're a Dragon Force fan, I mean, there is something on the other side of it, right? There is no pain and no gain
Hmm.
without the two coinciding. Undead, talk to us. You're a fan of the game, right? I know you love your comical moments. What is it that keeps you coming back to Arena?
You see, so it's like kind of like how main game is with like versus arena. Main game, I pay for an hour. I'm running around the map for 20 minutes. Don't see a person. Don't see a gunshot, and I'm close to extract. Get shot in the head. I'm like, okay, I don't want to wait 10 minutes to get into the next game because what does it take? Like 5 minutes to put on the kit, start loading into the next match. Sometimes it takes longer. And especially if you have teammates, you're waiting for that. So it could be 15 minutes to get into the next raid, die within the first 30 seconds. It's like, okay, it's building. But with when it comes to arena, you can just get back into the game. Once you're dead, just wait for the next round. That's fine.
That's pretty fair. That's a good mentality. And I mean, chat, a little bit of something I found whilst I was doing my digging this week, and I don't mean to do anybody down or be a bit too salty, but I might have swapped by and swung by an Undead stream just recently, folks. Here's the
I saw this
here's
coming.
here's caught in pure 4K, chat. This, ladies and gentlemen, I think Undead would agree, is probably not one of those moments you'd want to look back on. Let's take a look at this.
This is yesterday. Nice code. There's another one. There's also one.
Now, just talk to me about that grenade for a second, Undead. Where's that one going?
So-
Okay, just before the chat at home
So-
gets too wound up, let's give him a chance, chat. Okay, let's let him talk it out.
Okay.
Let's talk about the strategic gameplay. Let's talk me through it. Talk me through the process behind that
So-
one. Okay.
Yeah, so I've been practicing that nade. So what it's supposed to do is supposed to bounce off that middle, and it's supposed to go the other side of the helicopter.
Is that a
which
B plat?
I-
Is that a secret B plat
Yes,
bomb? Is it?
yes, yes,
Oh
yes, it is.
my word. Yeah, well, outplayed, I guess. Just outplayed. You seen it here first, folks, ladies and gentlemen. Undead Essence, the
I'm
nade
pretty
god.
sure. I'm pretty sure that is off stream, right? Undead, like that. All that practicing is off stream when we're
yeah,
not
it's definitely-
around.
Yeah. No, I was too close to the ambulance when I was trying to see if I could maybe underhand it, but I don't even think it would have reached anyways to where I was planning to throw it. So
I
I was kind
had-
of like hurrying up with it.
You have me in stitches. I was sat watching, and I'd only dropped in just to say hello. I was just trying to do the rounds through the various Twitch channels to pay respects, as there are so many people to drop in at this point in time. It's wild. There are not enough hours in the day to be able to pay true respects to all of the awesome content creators out there. So I know I stuck my head in, and I was like, oh, well, we'll wind down to some Undead Essence, okay? If there's something that does alleviate the frustration of a day of Tarkov, it's watching somebody like Undead get Tarkoved harder than you did and being able to sort of take it off and be like, yeah, fair enough. And he does it in such an honourable way. It really does make it a very endearing sort of look on the game. A lot of people get wound up and rage. This man just laughs it off like it's the next funniest thing, I guess, which is great to see. So, you know, shout out to Undead, doesn't want to let the ball drop even when we're on screen caught in 4K. But no, cool creative nades, all right? You never know, ladies and gentlemen. Some of these crazy nades that come out in HPL, because these things do create something, right? Every once in a while you do something like that by accident and you go, wait a minute. Actually,
You
we
know-
can cook off of this.
I did think there's a potential chance I might kill somebody if someone was sitting right on the other side, but like it didn't. And I was like, close.
Maybe future cook. Maybe future cook. Speaking of future,
Maybe,
actually, let's have a talk about the future, because this is something that I think you guys would like to share with the general public with regards to what's going on with your team. So, I mean, sort of between the two of you over the next couple of minutes, have a little talk to the guys at home about what's going on with Team Unknown, your NA team that you represent. Maybe if there's anything to do with the roster you'd like to bring up, if there's any particular plays you want to show the folks at home as to why, you know, you are so confident in the trust as a team when you play together. We know we've got some clips stocked up for that. So yeah, just talk us through what's going on in the background with Unknown.
Okay, so with recent news with Unknown, I decided to take a little bit of a break, take a step back. I took to the bench, and some people might think like, oh, that would make like Team Unknown like weaker in a sense, because like, oh, like you're doing a roster change after winning like the last two tournaments. But in turn, like we have brought in like Watchful to be like the next starter. So with that, like he is a very strong competitor in itself. So that doesn't necessarily hurt our team. If anything, it makes us like stronger in a sense.
Yeah,
Which
absolutely.
I'm
So
not away from the competitiveness, but
yeah, I don't want to
Appreciate it.
jump in on you there, but I just wanted to give a quick shout out. Thank you, Sprit. Appreciate coming in with the 5. Ladies and gentlemen, all right, not the 5 gifties. I'm going to take this moment in time to correct everybody, okay? It's not Spiriton. It's not Spritian. It's not Sprit I am. It's Spritian, okay? Sprit for short, Spritian for the correct pronunciation. I know he's going to bless me forever for making that clear, because there are too many people, even myself for the longest time out there, calling him Spritian. So appreciate the 5. Thank you for the drop there. Absolute legend. And welcome into the stream. I hope you guys are all having a great night. But sorry for interrupting you guys there. Just want to make sure we're saying thank you. Guys, if you do happen to drop a follow, a sub, or anything like that whilst we are mid-conversation, please, it is greatly appreciated. We will get around to saying thank you to it. I just don't want to stop these guys mid-flow, because we're all here to listen to what they've got to say, not me yapping on. So yeah, please go on, guys. Talk to us.
We made
Right.
the change to Watchful and then Barbaric.
Yeah. So, um, after the tournament was over, we kind of took a break, and Undead came back to me, and he was like, "Hey, like, I kind of want to just step down a little bit, take a break." And um, it kind of made sense because like we've been competing for almost a year straight, all of us. It can be draining, and I can see the drain. So it was nice to see that Undead came out to me directly and was like, "Hey, I want to take a break," and that allowed Watchful to come in. And Watchful coming in is like uh, a completely different play style. Watchful is a very aggressive player. Something I enjoy about him. We are going from more like a lower tactical team that thinks about our decisions to now a hyper aggressive team. So it's something that is a little different to what I'm used to, and it's a learning, like it's a stepping stone and a learning situation to be in. But I enjoy what Watchful brings to the table. He's a very unique player, and he's a very calm and collected player too. While at it, sometimes when you're in a high tense situation, you can get in your mind and you start just hyper focus on one thing that's going on. But he's someone that actually is not that way. He is very aware of what's going on around him and helps me as well, in managing the team. So that's one of the biggest key changes we made. We If you want to see what comes next, uh, but that is what's going on with the current team roster.
Super. Undead, talk to me. Because all of these things are happening for Team Unknown. You guys have a Twitter page. You guys have got your own individual Twitter pages. So for the guys at home that are interested in keeping up with Team Unknown, maybe you've gathered yourself some fans and they maybe don't fancy Stinky Vanguard, or they're maybe not really an Eclipse fan, but they really like what you guys have got going on as a team. Where would they find you? What socials should they be checking in on? Do you have any regular streams you guys do individually, or does the team do anything for socials that you'd like to shout out at this moment in time?
So for socials for the team, me and Barb control the unknown EFTA. That's the at currently, and that's like the only place that we post on our socials. We have some stuff coming up soon, TM. But until then, but for the most part, I am the one that streams for the most part. No one like necessarily streams that much, but like occasionally you see Barb or Sleek or Watchful stream. So they all have their streams. I'm not sure if cruising streams or Strix necessarily streams that much, but
Yeah, I'm sure both of
Tricks
them will
used to.
be. Yeah, I'm gonna say sure. I'm sure both of them. If we could, do you reckon we could maybe rib them once to get the both of them on onto the podcast so they could maybe stream a mini team fight between the two of them? Yeah, an inter team rivalry. Maybe get them for a melee fight. We'll put a fight club on screen for the folks at home and get the two of them to battle it out. Maybe we'll see the newcomer versus one of the veterans of the squad, shall we say? But no, appreciate that. That's a good shout out. I like trying to keep on top of all of the teams and what's going on. But I'm going to be absolutely honest with you, and these guys will attest to it when we were organising this. I don't X, okay? I don't Twitter, I don't socials. It's one of the things that blags, for whatever reason, it just blags me. So the fact that we've managed to keep up with 3 days of doing this and keep it smooth is awesome. But also, it helps me be able to lock in where I'm finding my information out for when we're doing this kind of stuff. And if the guys want a shortcut, now they know where to find you. So, guys, don't forget to swing by the Twitter. It's at unknown EFTA. Thank you to Mr. Ken Sekimura, one of the mods, helping out in the background for converting my terrible at into an actual link for the guys to go immediately to it. 10 out of 10 for that one, Ken. Good stuff. Undead versus Barb 1v1. I don't know, maybe. We'll see. We'll see if we can get time for a 1v1 in a custom match in Chop Shop or something. We'll cook. Let's see how we're doing for time first, folks. All right, the first one of the time. All right, the first episode of the Welcome to Arena podcast. We're going to try and keep it to schedule. All right, we're going to stay within the boundaries of what we prepped, so we've got less chance to fall apart. All right, we all know full well I'm going to be falling apart by the end of this. So, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Okay, now, speaking of falling apart, and this is actually the most coincidental, smooth segue we're going to steal for the day. All right, the next question we had on our list, folks at home, is probably one a lot of you will giggle at. But starting with Undead, what makes you crash out the most in Arena? What is it that really cracks the can of beans open and makes you go on one of those like mega rants
so
where you're just like, I'm done with it all?
if we're not talking about like the game itself, if we're talking about
Mm-hmm.
specifically like gameplay wise and stuff, it has to be Vulcans. It has to be Vulcans. I've done so many of
Ooh.
these little rants where I'm like, these Vulcans are like I will be here. I will stand on it saying that a Vulcan is a crutch where it lets you make a mistake and live through that mistake. Like it makes you have to like you can make so many mistakes. Like, how like let's say you're wearing a Vulcan, I'm not. I hit you in the head first, but then you live that headshot and hit me in the head back, like, and I'm dead. So that's one of the like the main things. The Vulcan.
It's fair. It's fair. I know a lot of the rebuttals in chat for the well, get good, shoot the Vulcan in the head more times. I guess hit more than one headshot. I don't know. There'll be many opinions on that Vulcan there, but it's definitely one that frustrates people. I mean, me personally, I don't even care about the ricochet. I just don't like the sound. Like I'm sick of hearing ringing when I'm trying to make entry to site. Like I want to hear his footsteps or my teammate telling me they just dumped the top up or a grenade going off. You know what I mean? Like me. I'm not about that life. You know, it's just. Yeah, everybody loves a good bit of electro, but not that kind. Barb, talk to us. Oh, go on, Dead.
I was just gonna say the frustration adds to it when, like, let's say Team Aspect, when we would play them like in scrims all the time, and they would have two Vulcans and an assault player running straight at me in an alley. I just lose my mind. But that's besides the point.
Pain. Barb, what breaks your back? What is it that really is there? Because you're realistically, from what I've experienced anyway, you're quite a calm player. Like I don't think I've seen you really like get too heated, shall we say?
Oh, you've not seen me heated on mic. But if I'm off mic and I'm muted, I'm raging. I guess the biggest annoyance that I have is team kills. Like sometimes,
Ooh.
it happens. I give a call out. It happens to everybody. But it's not just one player. It just happens to everybody. It's natural. So like you're coming up the stairs and you say, "Hey, this is me. This is me. I'm coming up the stairs," and you get team kill, and then everybody's like, I'm like, it's fine. It's all good. It's all good. But in reality, I'm just screaming. I'm like, bro, how can you not hear me? Like, I'm telling you what I'm doing, So I guess that makes me the rage the most. But generally, I played this game for such a long time that I've kind of accepted the the things that make no sense to me, and that's okay. It's just part of the game at this point, and you learn to just play around it or ignore it. And
It's just
it took me
chill.
a long time to do that.
I appreciate that. I think that's a good way to do it. Yeah, I think that's the right way. I mean, team kills are frustrating, let's be real about it. It is something that can wind you up. And I mean, I think the one that gets us the most, definitely the one for me, you're sat already dead and you watch the team kill go down. So it's not even involving you specifically, but it's you watch the guy look at the person that's on your team. You can visibly see an armband. He takes the shots and stops, doesn't kill him on the first time, but then proceeds to continue killing the guy immediately afterwards. And you're just sat there going,
Funny as you say that, because yesterday it happened. Actually, me and Undead are playing, and I see Undead. I forget the color of the armband, and I just shoot him in the face. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I just forgot.
I've,
It
I've done. I've
happened.
had enough of it. We've gotten to the point now in our fives where if we accidentally start shooting our teammates, it's become like the meme, the joke to continue. Then, if you stop shooting them and you didn't kill them the first time, well, finish the job off. Down they go. It's just become the joke of doing it now. But no, it definitely. That's so funny. Actually, that's definitely one of my big ones.
I think that's like what separates us is that we're like kind of, I don't want to use the word professional, but like kind of like veteran to it, that it doesn't necessarily like messes up like if like some people when they TK they pause, they freeze, like I'm so sorry. It's like during the tournament, like you were casting when I TK'd Strix with the grenade. It was just like, oh sorry bro, I didn't see it, and then continue on with the round. It's like, my bad.
You don't have a choice at that time, though, do you? Because you don't have time in the rounds like that to be able to have a 2-second conversation. That's it. I mean, talk to me realistically, and this is an interesting one. So, from working with TFG in season 2, and then your experience combined, my conversation that I would bring from the coaching side of things is that time between rounds. That's the one that really stuck out as the thing that you don't have enough of if you start wasting it. It's like if you even let a little bit of conversation from the previous round bleed into how you want to set up the next one. This remembers season 2 before teams had like the subconscious strategies were nailed in. People were still like asking, okay, so waterfall B is I'm going to just flash this. It's like somebody double checking it, right? It wasn't the whole strat being laid out, but they were like, okay, just making sure I'm going here. You don't have time for split comms in that because you have to nail it on time. And execution, I think, really is such a big thing in Arena right now that the quicker you can play, if you can execute at that faster speed, you have a lot more advantage against many opponents. Do you agree?
Yeah, like where when people are like talking, like after like between rounds, like if let's say if like someone's like having a little bit of a like, no, you're supposed to go here, no, you're supposed to go here, and like kind of like arguing, it's like next round, guys, next round, and like straight like when people start saying next round, you stop what you're saying and like let the IGL start talking. So because like we need to know what's happening the next round if we need to change something.
Bob,
Like
anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, it all boils down to the fact that you're playing a tournament setting, that you have something on the line, and you can't just be stuck on what happened in the previous round because you can't change the previous round. It's done and dusted. Blaming one another is not going to help. How about we focus on the next one and fix whatever mistakes we made, communicate better. And most of the time when we have this kind of, sometimes it happens even in our team, we'll have like a back and forth, like, no, you did this, no, I did that. One of us will call, hey, next round, let's focus up, and there's just an instant pause and everybody's back to the game.
stops the
And this is
argument, stops
something,
the yeah.
yeah, this develops over time. It's not like
Mm,
a instant thing. Like I said, I've been competing for almost a year in this game. From 5 4 days to now, like, I've learned so much,
mm.
and how to just reorganize yourself. And it all really just comes down to the fact that I had good teammates that also felt the same way. It's not just me that oh, I want to lock in. No, everybody is on the same page to lock it in.
Yeah, that's it. Do you want to talk a little bit about that Undead? I seen that one going in the chat actually, and that one has just triggered an old memory from way back. Actually, talk to us a
Very
little
old
bit about
memory.
that for people that are maybe not aware of what 545 was.
5-4 was our first team that we joined together with. It was back in the team fight days. It was uh, it was me, Barbaric, Oberst Tom, Blue, and um,
I knew he was gonna
one
do.
of
I
our
was gonna ask him as well. I knew he was gonna get this. Go on, you've got the last one,
Fletched,
Undead.
Fletched,
There we go. That's
Fletched.
it.
But
Yes.
it comes to tournament day, 24 hours before tournament day, Fletch's
Mm-hmm.
internet died, and I had no idea who Steak was. Like I Steak, no idea whatsoever. And Barb was like, we should actually come with this guy. Like, he's very good. Like I've seen a little bit of his gameplay and stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he could be our like our emergency sub if he
Mm.
really can't go. And I was like, I don't know who he is, but I guess we'll trust Barb.
Do you know what's funny?
And
Actually, I remember meeting Barb around a similar time to not Barb. I think it was actually. I think it was the first time I ever maybe bumped heads with you briefly in a Discord server upon passing Barb. Maybe just a hi and a bye it was for the time being, as either were crossing. But I remember
Possibly.
speaking to Sleek, and I think we even maybe got a game or two in. But we were talking about this, and even Sleek at the time was just very keen to get involved in the environment. Like always, just a buzzing beam with some good clips to talk about. And like you say, if you said he was an unknown person at that point in time, there definitely was argument to back his skill that I knew of at the time from people that did speak very highly of Ice Leak. If you heard the name, it was normally, yeah, that guy crushes me in the queues. It's pretty strong. So yeah, that's why I say 545. The old 545 stack was. It's a strong memory actually. That's people don't remember these bits back in the past. I guess from the team fight days, unless you really triggered the conscious mind to go back to thinking about it. But there were definitely some good highlights from that sort of stuff. I know Barb's got a couple of air pit clips to delight you all with a little bit later on, I guess, in that sort of sense from a standpoint, right?
Yeah, yeah. So my journey kind of began a little differently. I met Undead through Tom, and I knew about Undead because of labs and running into him here and there. But I actually didn't know him. So back then I was playing with Big Jake, um, Captain Clouds, um, Tom, Undead, and there was another guy, a Squigs. And Squigs is the person who introduced me to the game. And uh, I actually ended up into the game because of him. Um, so when Squigs, like, the game came out, I kind of stopped playing a month in because I was back on the main game grind. I enjoyed Wipe Cycle. So Squig says, "Hey, you want to compete with me?" And I'm like, "In what?" And he's like, "Oh well, there's a tournament." I'm like, "What is the tournament? Tell me." And he's like, "Well, there's a prize money of $100 or something, and it's gonna be hosted by Kick." And I was like, "Kick? Like, oh, I've never heard of this." Like, okay, sure. And I we make up a team, and I have to level up some kits because back then there was no custom game, so you didn't really have
To grind it
access
out, didn't
to
you?
a completely meta kit. So I had to grind it out, and I grinded for 2 days. I could not get the kit I wanted, so I went in with a 556 MDR with 56A1 against all Risties with
Roosters.
M61.
Oh
And
boy, that was
yeah,
back in the days of Butcher, wasn't it? When you had the hex
Butcher,
grid and the
mhm.
yeah.
Reese, the Alton, and the oh my word! I don't know if anybody
Luckily
remembers
though,
that. Oh
I remember
so
Nightmares.
yeah,
luckily, um, the butcher got banned from the tournament because people were like, it's too much, and there could be potentially 5 butchers. So everybody was like, we don't want to play against a butcher, So they banned it. Um, and I had to work up a kit, and one of them was called. I don't remember the exact name for the kit, but it was a 556 MDR, right? And a buddy of mine in my team had an HK with a 40 rounder, and that's the only mag I would use the entire game round. Like, it was a 40 rounder mag, and I was just going to plane, kill 2 people, 3 people, and I'd be like, my job is done. You guys handle the rest because I can't kill the other people. So
it
this is how I kind of got into the game.
just from that enjoyment and experience, literally. I mean, Brig, yeah, Shoreline with a shout out to Brig. People running Nightmare out there. I think there was that was the
Mhm.
mutant class, was it not? That was quite interested in that. No,
Munich.
was it mutant at this
Ye-
point though? No. Wait,
I don't
I
remember.
tell you,
mm,
do you know what I remember? I remember Falcon, the AK-12 that still now works well, but the Falcon wasn't running the AK-12 back then. That was an AK.
Cruising on Falcon. Oh my
I
god.
forget. Do you know what? I don't even know what the number for the AK was for the Falcon kit. Walker would be able to tell you. He was a Falcon enjoyer for sure. There
yeah,
were loads of them. Coulter, that was the other one, right? That was the
Ultra was so good.
855A1 AUG, right? Was that?
Grumpy.
With
Yeah,
AP ammo or something.
that's it. Yes. Oh no, wait. What was the name? Was it
Wait, was
Vampire?
Culture with 55A1? There was another AUG with SSA. But
Maybe it might have been the better one, yeah, for sure. But I think I remember Walker pulling out the sin bin tactic the one time, the sort of almost cheese on that the vampire, was it the
with the Vector,
vector with the
yes.
Quake Maker, yeah.
Yes.
Some great little choices back in that one. So, well, I tell you what, let's use this as well. We're doing good with the smooth segues and sliding on to the next topic. So let's roll on from weapons to weapons. A couple of questions we pitched to the guys in prep for today, folks, was what are the top 5 arena weapons for you to use right now, and then following that, what is the one weapon which you dislike the most, and give us your reasoning why. So, Bob, start us off with the weapons that you like the most from fifth going up to first.
Fifth going up to first. Okay.
Remember, we've got to fit all 5 of your weapons in and Undead's list before the end of the podcast in about an hour's time, give or take, yeah?
Yeah, I got you. I got you. I guess my fifth best weapon would be the mutant. Then I'd say the M4.
Ooh.
Um, third weapon being, man, the SA50 is such a hit or miss, but I really enjoy the gun. I just suck with it, but I enjoy the feel of it, right?
Okay.
Um, and then of course it's my go-to gun. It's my baby. Like, I've used it for almost a year. AK-12. I miss my Falcon days. I miss fighting cruising in VIP because of it. But that's my second go to go. And the first one is Spear right now. The six
Okay.
Spear, it just slaps. It's just insanely good. It's probably the most consistent gun for me. Just because of the fact that I can two tap a level 6 armor, two tap a Vulcan, so that's what it matters. And you just wanted the 5, right?
Yeah, just that for now. We'll come back to you for the weapon that you're not a big fan of in a second. That's it. Undead. Any rebuttals starting from the 5 going up? Do you have any changes? Do you think that's a good list?
I think it's a good list because, like, I don't know, like MCX is like I think the best gun in arena currently with the if you're using AP ammo to it.
Okay.
But I'm a huge stepper into like the VSS and marksman just because um like scouts taken sometimes, like I was speaking about the Vulcans, assault maybe not be the best case to like kill Vulcans. So it's like so I started stepping into the VSS and having a lot more success on like the burst kills.
Yeah.
Except the 20 rounders though. Still asking BSG to have those 30 rounders that they gave us for 10 days at the last wipe, but
Yeah, I think it is the one argument, I think, when you're looking to that platform where you go, do I, don't I? And your final deciding factor rests on that coin flip. It's like, okay, can I have 30s? I can have 30s. Okay, I'm like more leaning towards that being a good thing. If you go, I'm reserved to 20s. Like, so my positioning with it right now actually is an odd one because I quite like the TRG. I love the AXMC. That entire style of gameplay itself is great for me. And the best way to build that kit in my eyes is it has such a drawback because of the bolt time. You need a secondary of some form, be it a pistol or realistically a very low kitted VSS. That's like the one time I kind of go, okay, 20s are fine, right? I'm not
so
meant to be running around on entry. I don't need the large mag size. I'm really just using it for cleanup, right?
I have a kit. I believe more people use it often. It's like so I have the VSS. I have 3 mags of Tab 9, which is pretty
Oh,
still very very good, and just 6 straight rounds in the AXMC. Because in theory, like you maybe not need more than 6 shots with it. So that's like how I have my VSS AXMC combo.
do you know what? That's really interesting you say that. And I nearly brought a picture of the class today because I have the same setup with the AXMC where it is 6 rounds in the chamber. I think I actually got it set where I've gone a little bit wild on the armor. And I have 3 mags of SP6, so I think it's 2 mags of SP6 and one of
Very
PAB9
low.
in that.
Okay.
But it's
Mm-hmm.
really strong. Like it just feels like it melts things very quickly. It does both PAB9 as well. And I'm glad you brought up that point about PAB9 actually. I've seen a few people running different combinations of things recently. One that had my attention, I think I'll ask you two about before we ask for your least favorite weapons, because I think this might maybe even trigger a segue. Uh, I saw somebody running a Velociraptor today. Not in Scout, by the way. In Assault. Yeah, exactly. Barb's face was my face in game chat. In
6A1.
Assault, M62, he's running
What?
in. Yeah,
Oh,
M62.
because
Remember,
it's
it's 300 blackout, but
yes, that's right. That's
running
right.
M62 on it. Now, I mean, huh? It's
I will say
discuss.
though, it does. So that ammo does have 36 pen. So it's like, almost like the same thing as the spear has. I believe the spear might be 36 pen as well. The
Okay,
only odd part out is the damage. I do not think it matches something like the spear ammo with damage wise. So it
Roger.
kind of like puts it a lot lower on the list, especially with its
Okay.
fire rate. So I don't see that being viable unless it's on scout. But
I think the Velociraptor is more like a hey, I want to try something different today. It's not about a meta weapon, it's about having fun. And I
Yeah,
think that's
definitely.
where the gun comes in.
I think you've hit the nail on the head, and I think I've seen. I mean, we played against a couple of them today. Like I say, we faced the guy with the assault Velociraptor, and I mean, don't get me wrong. He wasn't running around gen and carrying. But I don't expect people at 2,000 ARP to be running around doing the things the pros are doing. Anyway, he was having a good time, and I mean, he did well. I think he was either top frag or second top frag on his team. But it just goes to show you can have fun in an arena and not need to take it too seriously and still do well enough. I mean, we joke about click heads and get good, but it's true. If you can click people in the head, 87% of the time, give or take a Vulcan, you will kill them. All right. This the one obviously downside to that is the bowling ball on top of people's heads that protects them from everything, including all the ammo, the kitchen sink, and the next door neighbor's oak tree. That aside being said, Barb, talk to us. What's your least favorite weapon? What's let you down the most in arena?
Favorite weapon. I mean, I absolutely despise people that just use a shotgun. I'm not gonna lie. If you're using a shotgun, I just hate you. I don't like you whatsoever. Like we're friends outside of it, but like in game, I just really dislike you. Like I don't want to peek a corner and just get one tap by a flechette shotgun that is going at like 800 RPM for some reason. It just does not make sense to me, and especially if it has a Vulcan on it. Oh, that will make me crash out. I just take me away from it. I just keep me away. I don't want to fight you.
That's wild. I love that. And the chat comment coming in from Hellcat said that with passion, capital letters, passion. I think everybody felt the frustration in that. Go on, Undead. Top
I
that.
would
What's
so
better than Flechetti?
I would have to agree with Barb, but the reason why I laughed to it is because it wasn't a meta. Like the Flechette Saiga was not a meta, and Walker kept pushing it to me. He's like, you just use it in the tournament. Just use it in the tournament. Just trust me. Use it in the tournament. So one day I'm like, I create the kit, right? Because like Walker kept telling me to do it. I created the kit. I brought it on a scrim. I had an insane scrim with the Saiga. After that scrim, you saw it everywhere, and it was just nonstop meta. And I was like, Barb hated me for it. Barb was like, "You created this. Like, I hate you." I was like, "Blame Walker. Just blame Walker."
There you go, chat. You heard it here first, all right? When it comes to the shotgun meta, all right? Hashtag blame Walker, all right? It was his fault. He started it. He caused everybody to get on board with that. So hashtag blame
He was
Walker.
he was pushing it. He was like, just take 2 of them every game. Just
I
take
mean,
2 of them.
there you go. You heard it out of the horse's mouth. Undead spilling all the beans. Walker caught red-handed there, apparently, for that one. No, absolutely. However, speaking of
it
catching
definitely
Walker red-handed, we're sorry to cut you off, Bar, but I actually got to take the time to shout this one out because I haven't had enough time, realistically, to pay the dues for where the amazing work that's gone into the screens that we've got for us here today. So, folks, the legend, yes, the same Walker, the 8 Sins newly signed Walker, previously EPA, previously ITB Shuffle, previously TwitchCon NA competitor, previously bald-headed gamer across all of Tarkov platforms, all right? the man, the myth, the legend that has been here longer than I have ever had a career intention for. So, yeah, he's done a great amount of work, and I really do want to extend a massive thank you again for his help coming to this. All of these lovely screens you get to see, including the starting screen, where we are right now, that clip screen that got created. We've even got a nice little lovely screen for transitions. And if we have to go anywhere, folks, we even have a lovely Be Right Back screen for that as well. So just a little shout out and a little bit of a display of what great work has gone into the background of this, even in 3 days. All right, folks. I got all of this together. I think I realistically got in touch with you guys, 3-4 days ago or so, give or take.
Something like that.
And all due praise to these guys, right? Immediate turnaround time. Yep. Totally excited. Would love to really appreciate the offer. And I cannot be more blessed to have 2 great people on the first podcast. So without sort of draining the time too much, we will continue on. But I did want to take a moment for anybody that's turned up just now. Thank you for joining us. First of all, welcome in to the first Welcome to Arena podcast ever. Episode 1. I'm Cracked, your host, here with Undead and Barbaric. Undead Essence and Barbaric, sorry. We'll give you your full name, so apologies. Undefeated Essence now, from the previous HPL NA title. Both members of Team Unknown that have joined me for the first episode of this, just talking about some bits and bobs. And speaking of talking about some bits and bobs, let's have a cook on a couple of these other questions, because one that I'm like really excited for, and this is because we go a little bit off topic, but still keep it within the realms of fun here. Chat. If any of you are artists in the chat, I want your ears open now, okay? Because I'd love to see some socials, all right? Some pictures from you guys in the socials in future of representations of the following. There may even be a piece of custom cracked artwork going out to the best piece of artwork relating to the following, which will be decided by these 2 gentlemen here, okay? These guys are going to be your adjudicators, all right? And I'll explain a bit more in a second, okay? So, the question is, if you could take 2 weapons from the Tarkov scene to fuse together in a futuristic world to wreak havoc with, what would it be and why? And what we're going to do, guys, I'm going to give you an example, all right? Yes, a 6-barrel grenade launcher, just like that you get off a big pipe, except where the barrel is a 100-round M4 magazine on either side of it, is an absolutely wild combo and is exactly what I'm looking for. All right, so we're going to give both the pros a chance here to create themselves a futuristic weapon out of 2 Tarkov weapons, and then describe it to us and give us the reasoning why. And then I want all of you guys in the chat, any of you that artists out there, go create their fusion weapon in a visual for us. Give us a drawing, give us a representation of it, and the best one will win a piece of artwork sent out to you personally by myself. So, who wants to go first? Have either of you cooked any ideas up? Have you brought a drawing? If you have, then we can show it on screen. But who's taking the floor?
I don't have a drawing, but like a mental image comes to my head of a AS Val, or no, sorry, it's called with an AXMC,
Okay.
like an AS Val. So just imagine an AS Val shooting 338.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
Like
So
very
we're
low
going
recoil,
like
very fast. Yeah, yeah.
So are we talking
Very
like a
impossible,
TRG
but
style stock, but then like a VSS kind of body, maybe the B3 attachment with an
with a little
extender for the
suppressor on it.
rail? Yeah, okay. Are we talking like any weight towards the back to help balance that? Because I mean, they're 338 rounds Undead. Are we going back to the no stock 75 rounder days where we're doing this though when we're firing?
It's
Like, how are you? Come on, gunsmith it up for me, brother.
yeah, because like if it's shooting like a bow, like it has to be low recoil, right? But
Well, I mean, that's a big bullet though.
yeah, just imagine it. Just imagine like a long like stock that just like you're able to like I don't know. I don't know.
He's making use of the new bipod mechanic. He's going to mount somewhere, chat, and he's going to
Exactly.
lock it down to something, and then just mouse button one. Got you, Bob.
You know the RSH pistol, the one that
Oh, the
shoots
RSH1.
the
The yeah.
yeah. I'm thinking Lapua like point three, not what's the ammo caliber for it? 0.338, right? 0.338.
It's
Uh,
338 is the LMG
Lapua
category. I think. I
ammo,
think it's
right?
308. Otherwise, I'm getting those mixed around. Let me hold up a
Well,
minute.
the AP ammo for Lapua,
That one,
basically,
yeah, the big
inside
one.
that pistol. Yeah, but I want the fire rate to be like the magazine to be like, I don't know, like a 25 rounder, and it shoots just as fast as an M4. So a pistol shooting like an M4 with that kind of ammo would be, I think, a little broken.
That sounds nuts. That actually does sound like a good one. Actually, think because of course you could John Wick it, right? You can have it on your pocket. You've room for still your primary and
Absolutely.
your secondary. You just roll it around with, I mean, arguably a hand cannon at that point. I mean, you bonk
Hmm.
and maybe you might need a reinforced elbow. I don't know, maybe a hip guard to be able to get that off so you don't lose your footing. But yeah,
Hmm.
no. Good ideas, good ideas. I like it. I like it. We're just trying to get them a bit creative, chat. And the reason is we're warming them up because there's another creative question coming in a minute I think you will all appreciate. But that one's going to come just a little bit later. So, now that you've decided your futuristic weapon to take out into the Tarkov world and annihilate, which player in the NA scene do you think is your toughest person to play against and why? Who would you like to take that futuristic weapon and get the one up over the top of?
I can start with that.
Okay.
I want to see a teammate though. Cruzen
Ooh.
is the worst player to play against. I want to say it hands down. Before he was part of Team Unknown, I did not like fighting Cruzen. Bay 5, if we're like, okay, we're going A, oh, it's gonna be Cruzen, bro. Like, I don't want to, like, every single time you cross that corner, you're dead. Every single time. It's like, yesterday we were playing a custom 10 mans, and I realized that Cruzen was on the enemy team. I was like, God damn it. Like, how did this end up happening again? Like, it's tough. Yeah, I think Cruzen, I have to say a teammate. I have to say Cruzen. I do not want to be on the other side of the gun versus
Do you know
Cruzen.
what's, do you know what I love about that, right? This is the thing that genuinely tends to impress me and amaze me about everything when it comes to a community and gaming in general, chat. Not just Tarkov, but everywhere else. So I designed a set of questions for today with the intention of something, okay? I hadn't conceived the idea, and actually Undead stepping just outside the box and looking at it from a different perspective has really given us a good one to think about, actually, because sometimes that's the right answer. I mean, especially as you guys are considered the champions of your scene right now. I mean, you're looking for somebody on an equal or better skill level. Arguably, the paper would say you'd look in the same team, right?
I think 99% of like the NA scene will say Cruzen as well. A lot of them will say the same thing.
Interesting. We get a poll up on that one on Twitter tomorrow, right, folks? Undead Essence quote 2025 says, "I reckon up to 90% of the population thinks Cruzen
Just,
is the best
just
NA
wait till you see
player."
that clip that we have playing for Cruzen in the.
Yeah, we're gonna
Just
rock
wait
on
for
into
that.
some of
Yeah.
them in a little bit. That's it. Yeah, no, Undead's teeing me up for some success in a second, folks. He's right though. We have got some amazing clips to show you, but we're gonna get around to that very shortly. So, just to fill you in and update you guys, what we're gonna do is we're gonna rock on till about 25 past, give or take, and then we're gonna take a quick 5 minute breather. All right, this is so everybody can get up, go to the bathroom if you need to. You're not gonna miss out on any of the chatting. Grab some drinks, grab some food. If you need to get stuff done like cooking dinner and whatnot in the meantime, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to re up, and it gives these guys 5 minutes to breathe. Okay, we all know I've got more than enough waffle in me to live here for years, but that's a different topic. So, final topic, I guess, before we close it out for the first half of the first episode. So many firsts, so I'm going to get drunk by the end of this on the number ones. Let's have a chat about teams. On the aspect of a rival, Barb, did you have a player that you struggle against the most? And then whilst we're doing that, Undead, I want you to think in the meantime who your most toughest team is to fight against, or a team you would consider a rival, or maybe together you can give me an idea as to which team you guys consider your rival team, the one that's closest to you, or maybe gives you the hardest test. So, Bob, the player that you would like to challenge, or you think challenges you the most.
Huh. That's a good question because there's a lot of players in the community that I respect as players. But I'll back on that up. I would be Cruisin. Cruisin is the kind of player that when you face, you have to be on point, otherwise he will punish you. And uh, this is what makes Cruisin so good. He is one of the most consistent players in the region because he consistently shows up on match day. And if you're able to do that, have nerves of steel, you will be a devastating opponent no matter what because has that self belief in him that he can. It doesn't matter if you're like the number one main game player. It doesn't matter if you are a pro from another region. Doesn't matter. He will show up and he will show you why he's considered the best in the region. And playing with Cruzen, I've learned a lot of things. I try to replicate a lot of things, the movements that he makes, the peaks he does, learn from his gameplay, and I think that is what sets him aside from a lot of the other players. Um, my fondest memories against Cruzen was fighting him in VIP in Skybridge. It's one of those things where me and him would have a 50-50, and more often than not he would take the like the lead, but there were moments because I learned from him on how to face him, how to fight him, that I kind of adapted and did the same things back to him, and then became like a back and forth between us. And there was some growing appreciation and respect. And it's funny that now we're teammates. It just comes back full circle that the best player in the in NA is now my teammate, and there's so much to more learn from him.
It's good. It's great to hear,
I
actually. It's a lot of respect going around from both. Go for it, Undead.
I can say like if we're talking about like non-teammates, of course, two ones that you can look out for is like someone like Dev the Myth or Trevi. Playing
Ooh,
against
okay.
them, they're always the one like on the flank and stuff. So game plan has to be where are they, because they will mess up your game plan. Like in our tournament or the last tournament, like our last match was versus Aquila. Our whole game plan was Trevi cannot run down mid. Trevi, you have to control Trevi. You have to know where he is. We control Trevi, we win the game, and that's what our game plan was, and we did it to success.
Love to
Players
hear it.
like that.
Yeah, it's spot on. Honestly, could not agree more with you. Uh, it's a reaction that we get, I guess, when we go into a game, ranked or unranked, and you pull up the teams, and you look at the enemy team, and you go, oh, it's X again. And you know X for one particular thing, all right? Whether it be, okay, commonly plays hop up. That guy's really good with the grenades. That guy just, for whatever reason, lives in generator. Like, they can get 2v1s all the time in places that look like they should be dying in the 1v1, let alone the 2v1. It's one of those things. And it always makes me curious, all right? When I go into a game against somebody, when people pull it up on screen, they see CW-Gengar or EZ-Gengar or whatever it is I put my name to at the time, it always makes me wonder, what do people do? Oh no, it's cracked again, cool, easy free art, farming time, boys, lock it in. You know, it always makes me wonder, do you ever get that thought yourselves? Do you ever wonder, like, oh, what do people say with me on that enemy team? I mean, we had it the other night, right, Undead? We bumped into each other yesterday, and one of our blessed younglings, shall we say, one of the less experienced versus pros arena players was coming away swearing his head off, being like, "Oh, he's just like, oh," you know, just kind of having 7 levels of pain torn at him, right?
There's been a lot of words that like not like this case, but like other people have said about like my personal gameplay. But like I've heard people say like, oh, Undead will not move, he will not peek you, he will just sit there and wait for you to make your mistake. I'm playing defense, so
I mean, I can't really disagree with you on that one because, I mean, given the games we've played against each other, you're not really a slow player. Like, you're not one of those people I put in a category where I go, okay, he's holding an angle again. Oh, he's holding an angle again.
trust me, I will.
If
But
you need to, though, but I think everybody has that within them, right? You could talk to the most aggressive player in the scene. I think you say to them, okay, you know, do you ever not, like, are you just built different? You don't ever hold angles. They'll probably tell you as well. They'll be like, no, there is a point in time actually where it's stupid not to hold the angle. Like, I'm caught. How many times have we as commentators sat on the commentary desk? Oh, and they're sprinting when the gun should be up. Yeah, he's caught shift W again. It's one of the biggest things, and it really can sometimes be like you don't need to be running about. Like, it doesn't need to look flashy. If the guy's dead, you win the round. GG, well played. Like, that's how it goes. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a quick break. So, don't go anywhere too far, because myself, Cracked Wisdom, Undead Essence, and Barbaric are going to be finishing off our amazing conversation. Got about another hour's worth of entertainment for you. Maybe a little bit longer if these guys are still feeling into it, depending on what's quacking and whether you guys in the chat are still enjoying it. So, go stand up, stretch the legs, get some refreshments, and we will catch you back here in about 5 minutes. See you all soon.
So what's it? Come on, close here.
And see what's behind. See what's behind. But I'm only human after all. But I'm only human after all. Don't put your blame on me. Don't put your blame on me. I'm not a human. I'm not a human. Don't put your blame on me. Coming on out. I'm not a human. I'm not a human. Don't ask my opinion. Don't ask me to lie. Then beg for forgiveness for making you cry. For making you cry. I'm not a human. I'm not a human. Don't put your blame on me. I'm not a human. I'm not a human. Don't put your blade on me. Whoa, Black Betty. Whoa, Black Betty. Black Betty had a child. Don't think gonna wild. She's always ready. She's all rock steady. Whoa, Black Betty. Yeah, Black Betty. Whoa, Black Betty. Go, Black Betty. Black Betty had a pie. Don't blink gonna cry. Sheep all pretty. Sheep all pretty. Whoa, Black Betty. Whoa, Black Betty. She's always my mind. Am I the only one to blame? When people always check for pain, but everything falls on mine. So back again. myself away from class. I can see the merry time. I look in your eyes. Look in your eyes. Ja, men Undead, he doing promo. Said keep our business on the low.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you very much for hanging in there whilst we took ourselves a quick break to refresh, reset, and get ourselves back into some more insane conversation. If this is you guys just joining in, welcome into the first episode of Welcome to Arena, a behind-the-scenes conversation with the pros. Today, the first episode is featuring two mythical legends from the Unknown Squad. We've got Undead and Barbaric joining us in the casting couch, all right? The chill conversation with Cracked. And any of you guys, any reactions, any feedback for today? If you've really enjoyed it, Slick, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome in, good sir. You got a little wiser today. Let's go. If you're interested in reacting to this, if you've got any feedback, if there's any pros you'd like to see on the scene, you want to get involved in with it in any way, shape, or form, all right, get on X, hashtag chill chat with Cracked, all right? Use the tag. Get yourself in there, let us know how you're feeling, whether you've enjoyed it, if you'd like to see it get better, if it's a dumpster fire and I should quit my job tomorrow. We'll figure it all out in the future either way. With that being said, now's time for us to take a look at something that I'm very excited to share with you guys at home. And this is, we get to show you the whole games when we do HPL and stuff like that, but I don't think there's enough video content creators out there right now that are really that passionate about Arena that we get to see compilations, all right? Or at least clips of some really good clutches. And I think we can all agree, gents, when we talk about the Unknown team, one of the strongest factors, and especially a part of like what brings that team together as a whole and its essence and its roots, like you said, Barb, is that clutch factor overall, right?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. That's one of the strongest key things that I've identified with our team is everybody's a clutch player. I I'm of the opinion that you know we function well as a team, but we also function well as individuals too. And each one of our players has shown up on those grand stage, put some insane clip out there, 1v5ing, 1v3ing, 1v2ing, and that's what makes it so special because is you're not just against one star player. I'm of the opinion that everyone is a star player in the team, and I give respect to each and every one of them.
So, very, very coincidentally, Mr. Sleek coming in with a follow on the howdy in the chat there. Mr. Sleek, do you remember this? Because Barb was an absolute legend in sharing us some glorious highlights from the earlier days, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this is Unknown's Cruising Barbaric, Strix, Undead, and I Sleek from previous. Okay, and this, I believe, was a 4-piece. Am I right?
I believe so.
Okay. So, lock yourselves in, folks. Take yourselves along for the ride.
2 members down, 3 members down. Bomb is getting planted. Sleek. Oh, man, Sleek and Strix just like that. Even it out. Sleek almost takes him out.
Just look at the moves. He's slick with it.
Easy situation for Sleek here. Sleek knows he's there.
Hear the glorious voice of Blue ESQ, guys.
Oh, man, that's so good.
Going to make it
Off with Sleek. Spots him.
Bit of-
Can he get the final kill in closing out time? Dwindling away, but still plenty of time to work with here. 15 on the clock. The pressure around the peak. He ducks. He dodges. He's able to get away for a moment's notice. The pre-fire is there. And Sleek wins it! Oh my! And just enough time left on the clock. Unknown will topple Aspect, the first team to dish out their loss. And what a phenomenal day so far.
Well, what a clip. Honestly, definitely one of those better highlights from the previous scenes. And gotta say, great set of casting. GG's to Blue and Hort. Shout out to Hot Sauce and Blue ESQ in that one there. You can hear the majestic mustache roaring, as I like to call it, at some of those insane shots
Mhm.
and smooth plays. So, talk to us a little bit about that, because I mean, it's quick, slippery play, but that's just one of the factors of the team, right? Every one of your 5 members, we believe, has that strength in them. Yeah, as we load up that next clip for the guys at home.
Um, so if you just look at how he just was aware of what was going on, he recognizes the 1v4. He sees that there's two people on site. He tries to get a pick on a drive-by kill, and as he's drive-by and kill, he's left in a situation in a 1v2 against Apollo, and he hears Apollo prone out, and he just positions himself the right way where he wouldn't, just peek a corner and just get instant head tap. Like he put himself in a position where he could throw Apollo off, bait a few shots, and then goes for the kill. This is what makes Sleek so special, in my opinion. He
This is
is a
one.
very smart player,
Yeah, I want to talk about this
and
because you're on about it right now in the positioning. This right here. So, just knowing to drop off of the back of the ramp here instead of walking forward, and you can see it in the silhouette of the guy that's actually just behind the cover. He's looking up, ready for his head to be out of that angle, and the fact that Sleek is like thoroughly aware that that is a possibility, and like you said, the timing on popping the stim is slightly fortunate, but he is the prone. The swing is clean because you know full well he's down at that height, and he leaves himself in the best position to take this on point. Now, talk us through this on point.
so I think it all boils down to the fact that both the enemy team and Sleek are trying to go for that right hand peak because that would provide the most advantage. But Sleek throws him off by making him believe the audio was coming from the right side when in reality was swinging
It's a
left.
Vulcan.
And it's a Vulcan, so it muffles the audio. You're thrown off a little bit. This is what makes Sleek so special. He is an extremely smart player, and he thrives when you, well, if Blue was here right now, like he'd attest to the fact that when you talk shit to Sleek, he will back it up and he will show up in a different way. So it's one of those things where Sleek, when he feels under pressure or he has to prove us a point, he proves it, and he proves it really well. So he'll clutch up these rounds on a drive-by kill, like a 1v4 or a 1v3, and he does this over and over again, no matter it's a scrim, MM, or even a tourney day.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's another one here coming in from another one of your team members. So this is Strix in the same tourney in a 1v3 here. And again, a similar set of ridiculousness when it comes to game awareness and positioning. So we'll just let this one play out on screen for you folks so you can watch this. He's going to find him as he turns around, tries to deal with the problem behind him. Jez just staying with the audio. One, two, exquisite in the air. He gets to cover. This is a 1v1 for Strix versus Jez. This is totally doable. Bomb is going to go down.
Jess clutches up in situations like this all the time. I have no doubt.
I don't know. Do you remember the demon that was Strix from previous?
I do, but health advantage for Jess.
True. Make the magazine. Jez versus Strix. Jez with the moves. Strix playing the tempo. Strix
There
with
it
the
is.
shots with the left hand. Again, some more great shots and some good positional awareness, some good gameplay. And like you said, I think that's twice in a row at the end of 2 clips. Coincidentally, we've seen a left hand, right? A left hand swing to get round, but left hand with the gun up, nothing too fancy, just making sure that the second that angle is being cut, the crosshair placement is in the right place. And that slight change of mentality, the 4D chess game in the head, as we like to call it, is the outplay, and that's where that comes in. Another insane clip. Shout out to Strix for that one there, and thank you again to Barbaric and Unknown for bringing these ones, Unknown and Undead even, sorry. So many uns, all right, you got me tripping, for bringing this one to light. We've got a clutch here from the main man himself, Mr. Cruisin'. If we'd like to have a look at this one, and
This one
I'm
was
going to hand it over
insane.
to I'm going to give it to Undead actually to talk through this one, folks. All right, so we're gonna leave the audio on, but I'm actually going to let Undead talk you through this.
After all that
So,
time, the pressure's on.
this is what like
Manny Ragger's down 20 seconds. Apollo. Cruisin does trade Apollo. Time is ticking here, boys. Don't let the bomb go down.
Yeah, the commentators are a bit loud in this one actually. I'm not sure if you're
he
going to
had
be heard
13
over it.
seconds, and he had to pick up the bomb because I died. So he's left here in a 1v2. We unfortunately got a bunch of picks before this. The fact that he pulled off and got the kill with no bullets left in his gun, or maybe like a couple bullets left, but now he has to reload and
And this was
that's
for
in
the
a one
match
v
as
one
well.
for the
Yeah.
match point. Yes, otherwise it goes to overtime. And I think this was a game winner to put us. This was for the APS tournament, and this was the game winner to put us into the finals, I believe. And that was what a way to end that game. It was a very like back and forth game, and it was a very uh, emotional like ending to it. It was a very like I don't know,
It's a good
very
way to finish
very
it off, right?
responsible time.
The word
Time
is
used for them.
euphoric, I think, is what you're
Yeah.
looking for, right? That uplifting, overwhelming emotion that you're like, do you know what? We really fought hard for that. We deserved what we ended up getting at the end of the day. It was almost a just desserts feeling, right?
To kill the guy when having 1 second like extra to plant that bomb is, and to get it down in time in a 1v2 is insane to me.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Bob?
Yeah, so this was once again coming back to the fact that Cruzen is that player, like he understands and reads the situation such a high level. He's operating such a high level that sets him aside from the competition. How did he even pull that off? I don't even know. I watched this clip back and forth sometimes, and I'm like, how did you have the situational awareness to pull the left kill and then, plant the bomb in the 1 second left, and then proceed to bait the shot on the left because Beherais comes around from the other side on a right hand peak, tries to pre-fire Cruzen. Cruzen baits a little bit and then backs out, reloads, and swings it again. Like who does that? Logically, someone would be like, "Let me run around in circles, waste the time." No, he's like, "I'm just gonna end it right now. That's it." And he made a statement. This is what sets him aside from the competition.
It's just this is the what's the word? The stoic mentality, right? There is no other option. It's not arrogance. It's like blanket disbelief in the possibility of not succeeding. It's just straight up. It's a no
Yes.
mentality. It just doesn't exist in the thought process because they joke about it in like the Star Wars scene. The thoughts lead to the dark side, and so it is a true story. If you let parts of this mentality bleed into your gameplay, it does start to bring you over down overall because when you start looking at things, you stop looking at it from a proactive perspective instead of asking the question, could I, or what could I do instead of? It's, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that. And it becomes that very negative, reflective mindset, which can be tough to avoid sometimes. I mean, it's part of the mental fortitude of being a competitive player is keeping that 100% all the time, I think. And it's a good shout, actually. Um, that being said, I want to rotate the topic a little bit away from the team for now. We are going to come back and have a look at something that Undead has just delivered to me delightfully. And I'm going to look to try and close out with that towards the end, actually, because I think it's a great piece of media that you guys 100% should be immersed with. So I'm going to look forward to sharing a video from the squad so you can have a real inside the scenes behind what goes on with Team Unknown very shortly. But we're going to throw a couple of questions at the guys again, and then we're going to go to chat and see if we can get a couple of those. And then we're going to play a funny round of what happens next. So, first things first. What is it about the drip? Talk to us about your favorite in-game clothing, loadouts. Is there any one thing, one item in particular that you like the most? And if you had a choice and you could bring a piece of drip into Arena, what would it be?
So my favorite has to be like I don't know because I use marksman a lot. Um,
Mmm.
you so on marksman kit, if those of you at home that don't know, on the marksman you cannot wear any type of helmet, so it's all about drip in marksman. And the one drip that technically has armor is the bomber beanie, but that thing sticks out like a sore thumb. It just like sticks out. So like if you're behind cover, if people can see where your head is because like your little beanie is there, so they can like shoot through the boxes and whatnot. But like that's like my favorite drip right now with that like smoke mask and like some type of goggles.
Okay,
That's
okay,
my favorite
okay.
drip.
I rate that. I rate that. Barb, favorite item? What's your favorite drip at this moment in time?
So this is not actually acquirable in game. It's purchasable from the EFT store. It's called the USEC Special
Mmm.
Ops. I just love this, like the clothing on it, the camo pants, like and the black shirt and the sleep. I love the color black. I love a little bit of red accent on it. It fit exactly what I wanted from a drip, and it's been my go-to drip ever since I paid money for it. I'm
Hashtag
completely
ad.
satisfied with it.
I mean, look, hey, this is the
Hashtag
thing,
ad.
isn't it? You enjoy a game. If you enjoy a game that much, it becomes a difference in perspective, right? You're not looking at, oh, I have to pay this much for an item anymore. It's, I really want that item. Like, it is actually worth, like, to me, it has value. How much is it? And you pay the cost for it. So, yeah, no, I agree with that. Like, I'm all about that kind of stuff. And drip is a big thing for me. Like, especially in games where you're having a frustrating time. You put on a Pastilli Plague mask, a bomber beanie, you TRG, you've become the biggest cheese of the entire scene because you one tap the thorax, and you do just go and have a bit of fun with it. I mean, I don't know if you guys got to witness it, but I do still remember those friendly guys squad from HPL season 1, the first season, where they all went out in the one game versus, I believe it was what Oil Rig was previously originally in XPA, in the full yellow banana men suits. You remember the 5 stack of the bananas in pajamas as they were standing around the bomb and spawn? For those of you, a little throwback to the EU scene there. But yeah, no, drip can be everything. So, with that being said, Barb, create as an item. If you had a choice, what would you bring in? What would you personally bring in to elevate your drip to the next level?
Probably a jacket.
Ooh,
A
okay.
jacket would be sick. I feel like there's only a few. Actually, I don't even know if there is any jackets in the game, but I would love, you know, a jacket that we can put on and off in game, like you know, uh, like how some games have the ability to just take off the jacket or put it on. Like I would love to have that. I think that would elevate the drip a lot more. Just rolling into the arena, the
With
jacket
your
on
jacket
and
on.
yeah, So that would be my idea, a jacket.
Should we go one further, chat? I think I could picture it as well. Could you imagine the end of an unknown round win? All right, Barbaric with his model without the jacket on for the gameplay's purposes at the end of the round would stand as the MVP and, just put that jacket on in a bit of a smug fashion, sort of
So,
brush the shoulders off. Imagine how cool that would be, right?
have you played Rainbow Six where they have the elite skins and at the end of the game when they show the MVP of the game,
I
that does
haven't. Is it
exactly that.
fire?
So where if
Ooh.
you haven't if you purchase the elite skin, the skin will do some type of like thing to it. So like in a sense like exactly what you're saying.
Okay, interesting. And the item you would
Oh,
bring
that is
undead?
sick.
Do you have a like a
So
piece of bling
I would have to
or?
I would have to bounce on that with that Sturman jacket specifically. Just
Ooh,
imagine that
okay.
Sturman jacket on in arena. And I feel like
Sturman
that could
jacket
be a possible
enjoyer.
thing they should add, but it doesn't hurt.
Interesting. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
I
Chat us
pay
another
for it.
talking point. Yeah, exactly. I've put the money in. Give me my goods. Let me have my style points. That's it, folks at home. If you've got any ideas, all right, and you think that you could create the next best item to go into arena, we'd love to hear it. Again, get on Twitter. By all means, tag myself, tag Undead, and tag Barbaric from episode 1. All right, at Cracked Wisdom. The Iron Wisdom is the number 1. Not at Cracked Wisdom HP. We don't know who that guy is. He's a fraud. So just Cracked Wisdom with the 1. But yeah, get your submissions in on Twitter. Tag us in it. Hashtag chill chat with Cracked, and let us know what your item you'd like to bring into the game is. I shall try my best to respond to as many suggestions as possible, and maybe next episode we'll read out some of your guys' ideas as to what could come into arena, and we'll get the pros' opinions on all of your guys' crazy ideas. Now, that being said, this is going to bring us on to another creative one, and we're going to have a look at maps now. So, first things first to heat the topic up. Favorite map, quick fire thinking, Barb.
Oh,
That's not Barb.
you pointed at it.
Debated undead.
Forward.
Down. Fort.
Forward.
Okay,
Yeah.
undead.
I
Oh, 100%.
Ball. Okay, least favorite map, Barb.
Skybridge.
Okay, undead.
A5.
Ooh.
All 4 different answers.
Ooh. So it just goes to show, player to player, on instinct, it is completely different. It could be an entire team might all like Bowl, but their most hated maps are completely different things. So, with those bits of context, and the reason I didn't ask them for explanations, chat, is because I think it might become part of the next question, all right? Starting with, we'll go Undead first, because we went Barb last on this one. If you could design one map, Undead, what type of map would you create? So maybe give us a theme, maybe give us colours, like a dark palette or like a pastel palette, something like that, and then maybe give us like a main sort of area in your mind that you'd like to build it around.
So, like, I the 5v5 game modes that I've been playing in the past, like a lot of people come from like CS:GO and stuff, but I played a lot of Siege. unfortunately, it was console Siege, not PC Siege, which yeah. But one of my favorite maps was Oregon, and I really love like this house built to it. I can imagine Arena playing in the house, and like it was like in Rainbow Six, it's a big enough house to do. So it's like one story, two story, and basement. Like I feel like something like that could like if they like you figured it out, you could maybe make something like that in Arena.
Okay. Would you make it a more CQB focused map, a more mid-range focused map, or would you have some sniper lanes in there? Talk to me. Would you like a hybrid style map where it plays both?
See, I I'll tell you, I won't lie to you. I suffer in a lot of the CQB maps, which is why one of my things is Bay 5 is one of my um Bay 5 attack specifically because you have to run in and you have to take your so like I suffer in Bay 5, that's why I don't like it as much. But CQB like something like that could like still benefit because like there's a lot of like in that map you can be sneaky, you can be angles and stuff. So
I like it. I like it a lot. Bob, what map are you designing? Do you have any thoughts on this one? Is there anything in particular you'd like to sort of attest to, or maybe any references you can bring to mind?
Yeah, a labs sort of map would be something I would look forward to. I was under the impression that we would at one point get a labs type of map in the labs theme, and I know there's a lot of lab mains. I used to be a lab main myself, so for me that would be ideal. I don't know how I would design it or how they would even make it work, but a bomb site on, I don't know, like the middle of the map, one bomb site only, you know, a very small map, CQC. I think it could work. Would be a lot of like wide angles or something. There's some long range, there's some medium range, and then there's a lot of like the fight in between. And you can only imagine how chaotic it would get if there's nades, smokes, flashes, while on labs. It would be a mess, but I think it would be fun.
So here's a pitch for you, okay? And this is something I've come up with in my spare time alongside working along with a few guys in the Discord community and something I've been cooking in the background. So I like the idea of a labs map, but how about this for a game mode? Same style stack up as you do for Blast Gang, so 5v5, maybe even 6v6. In 6, essentially the numbers could change. You could have it basically 2v2 up to 6v6 and all game modes allowed. A lab style map, close quarters, where your infill is also your extract. And it's a quickfire game where the center of the map does not contain a Blast Gang plant point, but a intel folder. And it is team versus team, a fight to the folder, and to get one team member to extract from the map with the folder to score the point instead of a Blast Gang bomb objective. Thoughts?
capture the flag.
Essentially, yes, but with the extraction side that Tarkov brings to the table, keeping its unique values of what it plays with, the intel folder being a lootable object, you've got the idea of that. Then if it goes down on a player, they then have to deal with getting that off of the teammate's body safely, as well as that angle being able to be held. Did the team pay attention as to which class picked up the intel, as to which body they're watching? Thoughts? I
That
don't
could
know.
be fun.
That that would be a good rush mode. Yeah, like a quick 10-minute game instead of like the usual 30 minutes. I think that could be something that would appeal people.
Just seemed like an idea that came into my head. I mean, we all have our wild ideas once in a while. Thought we'd share that one with
Yeah.
the world, so you guys get to see what goes on inside the spaghetti brain in here. But yeah, just a thought for you. So the map section there, tied up and done, ladies and gentlemen. Like we say, if you've got any extra suggestions yourself, please get on the socials. Let us know what you'd like to do. If you've drawn any maps, send us some pictures, tag us in that so that we can have a look at them. And like we said, on a second episode of the podcast, if this is well received, we shall look to maybe look at some of the suggestions and some of the entries as to people's map designs and maybe talk through them with the pros rather than having these guys come up with such a crazy and large concept on the spot, which these guys have done a great job with today. I think we get a round of applause in the chat actually from Dead and Barb for that one on the map section. That's yeah, job well done, guys, job well done. Moving swiftly on though, from the maps to the game modes. Quick fire again. Barb, favorite game mode and why?
Last Gang, just search and destroy. Something that I've grown up playing. Counter Strike, Valorant. They all have that game mode. I'll just enjoy that.
Okay. Undead?
Blast Gang 100%. Like I do not miss the team fight days, and yeah, Blast Gang will do.
Okay. I actually reached out to a couple of people in the community and asked for a couple of questions regarding what they'd like to ask Arena Pros. One of the ones that came through was thoughts on Teamfight as a game mode overall. And there is a kappa face at the end of that sentence, copied and pasted in quotation marks. So.
Remove it.
Just remove it. Just
Oh
remove it,
no! We're not
I would
Teamfight
say
enjoyers here. Oh no,
I would
guys.
say at least remove it from ranked, because it kind of people, like if we're playing ranked, I get it. Some people don't want to play against the same people over and over and over again,
Mm-hmm.
but they will go and play team fight ranked instead. It's like, I don't want to go over there. This is the where like our like
Mhm.
what we play. This is our competition. We don't get anyone over here because they're dodging over there. So it's kind of like, if you remove
It
it,
happens way
are
too
they gonna go
much.
play unranked?
This is a good question. I really want to pick up. I'm not actually. I hate to interrupt the two of you with such great information coming out, but this is a really big point that I want to pick up on. The perspective comes from two sides for me. Would you rather see two ranked queues, a ranked queue for team fight on a separate rating board system, as well as a ranked queue for Blast Gang on a separate rating board system, so that the playing rank didn't affect the ranking overall? Because I don't think that's the problem we're attesting to here. I think that's the underlying result, rather than the problem being that the pool of players are given an out to still score ARP and avoid playing against you guys that profess in Blast Gang, right?
I can attest to, like, I'd rather see just one game mode on ranked. It's kind of like how, like, going back to like Rainbow, how Rainbow used to do it. They used to
Okay.
have a almost like a team fight thing where it's like you have to defend a section instead of like planning and defusing a bomb. And
Mm.
they ended up just getting rid of that off of ranked in general, because a lot of people would just play that because it was the easiest game mode to play, and rather than like there was no strategy, I guess, against to it. So like Rainbow just they only have bomb mode now on ranked, so that's, I would love to see that in arena personally.
Okay.
Just the bomb mode on ranked.
Interesting. Just so that it's got a consistency there, then the rest of the game modes are almost like party game modes, as a sense. They're intended for downtime, so you can have a good time. I mean, yeah, absolutely take it seriously when you're playing. If you want to do that, that's fine. But that mode, you want it. That's like,
That's a
if you're going into
specific
Blast
sweat mode.
Gang, gotcha. Roger Dodger, Roger Dodger. Interesting. Not sure if everybody would share that opinion. Not that I necessarily don't. I actually I don't have an opinion on that one. I hadn't thought about it enough, I guess, to make a decision. But that's a good point, and I hadn't thought about it from that perspective. It's a good one to sort of slide on into the next one, which I think, given that conversation on players in general, player base, the game as a whole, um, where do you see Arena in 5 years' time? Like, what ideas do you have of the future for this game? What do you think would maybe lead it to success, or what could you see not necessarily helping it out so much? What do you see from Arena in the next 5 years as such?
Um, I think Arena has a space in this in the esports section now. It had a shaky start, I, but the game has improved dramatically over the past year. The game is in a very good spot. There's a couple. I think it's just a couple of updates away from becoming like one of the best game modes you can, one of the best games you can play. I think what it struggles with right now is a smaller player base because the opinion is not that positive. However, as the game develops, as people play, because I've seen so many pain game players that had a negative opinion about Arena that come now and play the game. They're like, I would rather just play this now. I would rather just play Arena. So the smaller player base is hurting the game, but I think it will become better. It's not just gonna end up here. I think I see a future for it. There's a lot of interest developing for the esports part of it. There's a lot of people that I know that look at the game at such a high level, and they're really just like wondering, like, how did a Tarkov game just become so tactical, so competitive, so unique. It is a twist on the genre, like it's a twist on the competitive like scene, and as more interest develops, the game will grow into something more, and I have hope for it.
Absolutely, and I think that brings us round to a good time because we are on the hour of 9, so about be 15 to 30 minutes away from the end of the podcast as we predicted. We're running relatively well on schedule, which I'm very delighted to see. We're doing all right for it. So 9 o'clock chat, we did promise you a final surprise, and this is something that neither Undead or Barb have had prior knowledge to, ladies and gentlemen. So this is fresh, hot off the rocks, should we say, for these guys as well. This is the kind of time when, if you've been paying attention to your Twitch streamers, content creators, and amazing people within the Tarkov community, then you might get a little advantage, okay? This is called What Happens Next. I'm going to cue you up a clip, all right? And it's very simple. We're going to stop it at a certain point, and we're going to ask these two pros, what happens next? You're also going to get a chance in the chat to have a shout-out. We'll read out a couple of the suggestions, and then we're going to play the clip and find out what really happens next. So, without further ado, let us load up the clip. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. He says that, and we should be there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Big shout out, first of all, thanks to that friendly guy who, if you don't know who that friendly guy is, okay, one of his things, shall we say, one of his unique selling points is the ability to go around the wipe in general, base game and arena, as a pacifist. That's right, no weapons, no ability to kill anyone whatsoever, trying to achieve the highest progress possible by doing it by being just that friendly guy. I mean, it literally is in the name, and it's some of the most amazing gameplay to see. So just to put this into context, okay, TFG has gone into a game with iMiniman, another amazing streamer out there in the community, and they've come up against each other alongside one of the TFG Arena Pro players, Stripey. And this is what happened. That is also showing audio way back from the clip rather than it being correct, so allow me to just reload that. What happens next? Would you like me to play the clip again for you guys? Do you want to see and hear it the one more time?
That's a hard one.
Yeah. All right. Let's. I'll tell you what. Let's cook them again, guys. Let's give them another. We'll give them another 7 seconds of it. All right. So.
Need max for win, so here we go, yeah.
So, Stripey, basically, mate, you've got to stand still.
The scene changed.
Okay, so the stat and the tall order, folks at home, just in case you weren't able to catch the audio, because it is double in for whatever reason. Can't seem to figure that one out right now, but we'll get better on that in the future. TFG has no guns, but he has quests to complete, all right, as marksman to win the round. So what he needs to happen is he needs to have Stripey get killed by him as a marksman so he can complete the round. But he has to get Stripey to agree to doing this as a friendly guy. Otherwise, it's not a pacifist, right? He's not offering it. He's killing somebody, okay? So part of TFG's stick is, well, Stripey, do you offer yourself up as a good cause, shall we say? What do you reckon, guys? Miniman asks him, Stripey, are you willing to let us shoot you? Undead, do you want to have a stab? What happens next?
Assuming Stripey kills Miniman.
Is that it? Any elaboration? Just wanna leave it as it's a straight up. He's just gonna kill him. You think it's just straight up? You think it's just traitory? You think it's just immediate treachery? Just puts him down on the spot? Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. Barb, any suggestions?
Yeah, I think he gets coerced to do exactly that.
Okay. Okay, so we're
I think
thinking
so.
manipulation then. Both of the two of them here, folks. Okay, so chat, we'll play you the full clip so you can figure it out. So the pros are saying, chat, I'm really curious to what chat thinks happened. Stripey kills Miniman, TFG gets murdered, just might not make it. Okay, so people are not sure, okay, all right. So the thoughts are that Stripey is going to immediately kill Miniman and not play ball, okay? Here is what happens next.
Need max for win, so here we go, yeah.
So, Stripey, basically, mate, you've got to stand still. You got to let me kill you to help TFG. What are we saying?
I wasn't expecting it like that. I'm not gonna lie.
My point of view
I can't begin to describe. Okay, I can't begin to describe how good that was in my DMs this morning. Okay, I woke up to that being sent to me and was like, "There's no way." All right, we've seen Stripey the dolphin, we've seen Stripey the tiger, we've now got Stripey the Beyblade. Okay. And I think, guys, if you're down, I think it's worth another one. Do you reckon we get just one time for the one time? Poor Miniman, all right? What I want, chat, just RIPs in the chat for Miniman. Okay, this is not just dying to Stripey. This is a little bit
Need
of a
Max to
single
win, so
tier
yeah, we
moment.
got- yeah.
So, Stripey, basically, mate, you've got to stand still, and you got to let me kill you to help TFG. What we saying?
My point of view wins. Need Max to win, so
Honestly, probably single-handedly one of my favorite clips I've seen for the week so far. That is an absolute belter out there. Thank you. Shout out to that friendly guy for letting us play that one. And I guess an honourable mention to our Miniman for may his soul rest in peace after Stripey the Beyblade claimed it with his Dragoon spin. I don't know what that was, but I hope we don't see any of you guys dying to that in the arena, right, guys? Fingers crossed. Right.
No, hopefully not.
Next thing being said, let's have a look at something whilst we load up that video that we wanted to show the guys at home for you guys to talk about. Thoughts on the Epic Store announcement? We realise that Escape from Tarkov Arena is going to expand some way, shape or form, and it has now been announced that the game is going to be released on the Epic Store. What are your thoughts?
Anything to get more players, honestly, because that's what we need more. We need more players. So if more people are interested in buying the game off Epic Store, by all means, I don't think it hurts. But
Yeah. Bob, any follow-up on that?
I think it's a step in the right direction. I think the game needed little bit of a nudge, and this might just just do that. If there's enough eyes on the game, there will be more people inclined to check it out. When there's more people playing, the game just will feel more alive. So there will be a lot more people playing. Right now, I think the game struggles with the lack of players and long queues, but it will make it better, I think.
Awesome. And then finally, to finish up the questions for the day, before we do show that video for you guys and then say our thank yous and round it out for the evening, do you guys have a message to people looking to try and play Arena? Anybody looking to try out Arena? Anything? We'll start with you first this time, Barb. Any words for the guys out there that have looked at Arena or maybe watched some pro matches or something in passing and gone, do you know what? I might be quite good at that. I should try it out.
Um, Yeah, I think Arena is very unique in its own way. I recognize that from the outside it might look daunting to try out because there's so much to learn from the main game. Uh, but if you are a main game player and don't want to try Arena, like I would say, just give it a try again. It's in a way better place, and the game just feels better, just more fun to play. There's a lot of customizability. Everything you love about main game, you get it, but in just PvP sense. When it comes to newer players from the outside that have never touched the Tarkov genre, it's just like it's just an extraction shooter, but with a PvP mode. Like, um, yeah, the game mechanics are a little difficult, but if you just give it a little bit of time, like I would say like 10-12 hours, it's not that difficult to get into, and you'd be pleasantly surprised on how fun the game can be.
Love to hear it. Undead, anything to add? Any extra words, any kind words for the guys that might be looking to play the game, or any defensive words telling them to run for the hills for safety?
no, but like if there's anyone that's trying to like get into like competitive arena, I wouldn't. There's a lot of people that are kind of, I don't want to say scared of the competition, but let's say like, oh, they see team, or for this instance, team unknown, and be like, oh, we're not ready for that. Like, I don't want to compete. It's anyone's defeatable, right? Just as long as like you get into it, just don't be discouraged by losing. Like back into our 5-4 days versus like in our early aspect days, we would consistently scrim one of our friendly EU teams, and we would consistently get destroyed every single scrim. Every single scrim just destroyed. Soon we started winning rounds, and those rounds started turning into games. Into okay, now we actually took 3 maps this one time. It's like okay, so like practice makes perfect. Trial and error. You're gonna get destroyed before you can get better. That's how it is, and you just can't get discouraged by it.
It's good. It's good. It's good. That being the rest of our questions that we've got from the ones lined up, it is actually now time to have a quick nosy over to the chat. I do see a @PokeyFPS answer his question. I have the hand raised. Pokey, I'm gonna give you it. All right. There was a respectful schoolgirl hand to the sky. All right. I will give you that one. So come on, Pokey, hit us with your best shot. What's your question? All right, what's your question for the pros, Pokey? We'll pull that one in from chat. Anybody else, if you've got any questions in chat for the pros, pop them in and we'll read a couple of them now. We'll get their answers and then we're going to get to look at this beautifully featured video that the guys have set up for us to watch on the way out. So, I would like to know how to be as handsome as Barb. Well, Pokey, I think you asked the question on everybody's minds. Barb, come on, break the myth. What's the secret?
That's such an awkward question to ask me. I don't know how to respond to that. I'm not gonna lie.
Play arena for 10 hours a day.
Yeah. So you found today, folks, the 2 ways to break Barb is to A, first assault him with a shotgun inside of arena and then go to his stream and compliment him massively on his adorable good looks and great charm and handsomeness, and that's it. Barb is officially a washed gamer that's never touched a PC in his life. That's how you break the back of the Barb, apparently. That's the only way, all right? Kill him with kindness and throw some shotgun shells at him. You heard it here first, folks. Any more questions for the guys in the chat? Let's have a look. We've got another one. How is he so handsome? Hey, I'm going to be honest with you, Barb. It's all the love in chat for you right now on just downright good looks. Undead, question for you. Why you bully? That's coming from Sergeant Raging Snake. So, yeah, why are we bullying the EU scene, Mr. Undead?
I'm sorry, I had to play on an alt account so that I could actually get games in and I don't torture myself, but...
Chat, the irony is this alt account is called Funhaver69. Yeah, this guy out here having fun, by the way. Just saying, okay? Mr. I'm going to name it a funny thing. No, we love to see it. We love to see it. Any other questions before we have a quick nosy at the feature? Who come up with that crazy name?
Watch, I'll keep up with that name.
All right, not to worry then. I'll tell you what, let's slide on into the video and then we can get some, if any questions pop up in the chat in the meanwhile, we'll pull them in the way. So, do either of you want to introduce the video? Is there anything you'd like to give us context before we play this?
I can give context to it. This is the last video that I listed, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, this is the movie.
Okay. So this comes into play because we, like, no matter what team it was in this HPL, we have to do our homework. We have to give respect to every single team playing, and this team was Vanguard, and one of their key players that we highlighted was Scratch Killer, and we paid attention. I watched maybe 3 times over their game versus, I'm not sure who they played against on Bow in like the previous week, and I was like, okay, so where does Scratch Killer play? He is playing consistently at this one specific spot. Can we get a nade there?
Right.
And
okay.
How successful, how clean is that nade? And we went into custom games for about an hour, tossing different nades from here and there, and like, oh, this nade is landing every single time. This is where he tends to sit every single time, every single round. If we kill him once with that grenade, he might play off somewhere else. So this comes to round 2, where we're like, okay, Steak, let's try this nade. And this is where, like, we'd sit.
And this is where it is. Okay.
It's not a sexy clip for the record, but it's one of those, like, just came to play from tons of, like, planning and tons of preparation to it. Watching the film, he throws that grenade straight into where Scratch Killer's playing, and he's dead. Now it opens up the play.
And
Scratch
that's the
Killer's
nade
dead,
you're talking
and now
about.
we can explode onto site.
Gotcha.
Preparation, just making sure we understand our enemies, making sure we do our homework.
Interesting. Love to see it. Okay, so, and this for the guys at home, for those of you that are like, just wondering why we've gone to such a single, a small, maybe isolated clip to talk about that. It's part of what we're trying to do here with this Welcome to Arena podcast is to give you guys an idea as to what goes in behind the scenes when these arena teams, oh, it's just they play 20,000 hours of arena, or they're on 7 days a week for 18 hours a day. Well, sometimes it's not necessarily even just being in the queues like a degen for 12 hours a day, fighting for that ARP. It's actually sometimes it's, taking a step back from the gameplay and spending 2 or 3 hours watching videos together and going, okay, this guy plays here consistently. Let's cook something for that. Or even like you've said, in the game, you've recognized that this certain position is causing you a problem. And you're like, right, do we have something for that? Okay, let's try and cook that. Let's make it work. And then you said that nade comes through. Barb then takes site, gets the kill on site, and the rest of your team is able to push through as a full unit. And that, some of that really constructed gameplay does, like you say, it's small building blocks, right? You've got the grenade. Then you've got the push onto site. Then you've got your post-plant positions and the utils and so on and so forth. And it all builds, and the better you execute, the more benefits you have to your advantage, I guess.
it's kind of like how I was saying earlier with like players like Trevi or Dev. We kind of highlight this player. This player will make our lives miserable if we don't solve like what they're doing. And watching back like former scrims and what were they doing that was making our lives miserable. That's plan a game plan around them and trying to isolate what they're doing so that we can have like a better advantage against them. And if we solve that, we think we win the game. And in turn, we did win this game. So
Yeah, I can add to that. It's the fact that like it's pre-planning before the match where we are identifying key players. Like if I just take myself as an example, I played a role which is completely different to my play style, but it was more so functioned to stop Trevi in our last matches. Because Trevi, as I know him, if you give him space, he's gonna take space. When he takes space, he's gonna destroy you. So my entire purpose in the bowl game when we played against AQ was just to sit and hold Trevi as long as I can, and let the team cook from the other side. It's those pre-planning that actually makes a big difference.
Mm.
Same with like our us preparing against VG for nade lineups against Scratch. We saw Scratch playing in one of the matches, going to the same spot over and over again. We're like, target this, he will stop playing it, and he did. Then there's a lot of more examples for other teams as well. Obviously, I can't disclose much because it's still our competition, but it's identifying the key players, seeing their patterns, exploiting those patterns, making them believe a certain thing. Like, in MM, uh, some of us would play completely different positions to what we would do in an actual tournament setting because the enemy teams are also noting down everything you're doing. Okay, he's going here, he's speaking this. This is how he's gonna play a certain way. So our idea behind is to play mind games while also doing something different. So I'm very proud of what we've achieved because of these small bits that add up and become something great. And with the addition of people like Watchful, yeah, and like I take opinions for everybody, not just my it's not my own opinions. I take it from everybody. We all come down, whiteboard, talk about game plan, and we execute. And that execution takes practice, and we practice a lot. We have so much practice going on in the background, that sometimes my teammates are like, hey, maybe we need to calm down a little bit with the practice. But I have that mentality that I want to go for the number one spot, so I'll work for it. And this is it shows in the effort. And I also want to just take the time to appreciate Walker and EPA. They have been nothing but helpful towards us. They help us in so many things, just from understanding the game on a high level, what the EU people are doing, what the Russians are doing. And we take those things that they tell us and learn and try to implement something from our own, which has made us a very good team, and I'm very happy with where we have ended up. And the only way I see it is we're only going up from here. I'm constantly trying to improve the team dynamics. And the other thing that we started implementing is like more friendships between each other. When you're friendly with your own teammates, when you see them as your friends, you're more inclined to play with them, and you play more with them, there's chemistry developing, there's synergy. So this is how I see my team. This is how Undead has been with everyone. Undead is the shining light in the team. I can be a little gloomy. Sleek can be gloomy, but then there's Undead who's like happy, positive, and sometimes you just want to tell him like, "Hey, can you calm down with the positivity?" Like sometimes I want to be negative. But Undead has provided the team even right now when he's stepped down. He still is messaging in the group chat saying, "Did you guys take the screenshot? Hey, did you take that video?"
so for the last year, I've been taking screenshots of our because I like to record everything like with scrims and stuff and like make sure we have like a history of stuff. And
Yep.
since I stepped down, people have been not screenshotting because I haven't been there. And I'm like, are you screenshotting? Where's the screenshots, guys? Where's the screenshots, guys? Please, somebody. I jumped in the call the other day. I was screenshotting myself. Even
Just
though
to get the screenshots. That's
just
brilliant.
to get the screenshot.
It's important. I do think it's good feedback. definitely from the coaching experience or the small coaching experience I had with the TFG side, it was the same thing there. The just taking a screenshot of the attacking half and the defending half separately as well to be able to see, all right, on this map, is it our defense, is it our attack, or is it an overall
lazy.
more underlying problem that's an issue? It does make a big difference there. I can see Watchful in the chat there, newly joining, getting already in with the grilling. This positivity really ticks me off from this Undead guy. Well, don't worry, Watchful, you've got many hours of it to endure in the future. And I believe you made that choice, sir. So, well, you made your bed, you lie in it. Congratulations, welcome to Unknown. Good man. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that is going to be bringing us to the end of the show. Now, that being said, I would like to give these two fine gentlemen a final opportunity to promote themselves before we say our thank yous and then close out and raid out for the day. So, before we say goodbye, gents, starting with Barbaric, can you tell the folks at home where to find you, if you stream regularly, anything you'd like to promote, now is your time.
Well, you'll find me on Arena, that's for sure. But outside of that, sometimes I stream on Twitch. It just depends if there's a vibe cycle going on, or sometimes I just do it randomly because I want to just chat with some friends. So I'll just do it randomly. But you can find me on Barbaric with 3 eyes on Twitch, and sometimes I'm talking on Twitter and the, the same name, Barbaric with 3 eyes.
Brand risk bar.
Yep, absolutely. Undead, anything you'd like to add to that as well? Any promos you've got for yourself, sir?
So I've been streaming since I've stepped down. Like I've tried to stream more and more consistently at a certain time. So I've been streaming 6 p.m. DST every day on Undead Essence on Twitch. Yeah, catch me there. Also, you would be able to see like Ice Steak on Twitch. Cruisin occasionally streams, I think, in the past. Strix as well. Strix does do YouTube, what are they called? Like frag? Or do you call them frag movies or like highlights?
Oh, frag compilations, yeah.
Oh yeah, Strix does post those on YouTube. So if
There you
anyone
go.
wants that, like, I don't have his handle off my memory, but yeah, he does do those.
We'll
are
we'll
always the
get
best to
Strix
watch.
to. I tell you what, we'll communicate that. Get Strix to send that to you guys to send it to me, and I'll slap that up on the X socials. We'll get that one promoted out there as well. Good shout, actually. Good shout.
And
shout.
watch full streams as well.
That's it. There you go. So, before I go with my thank yous, the final one to the you two gentlemen, any shout outs to people in the audience you'd like to give? Do you want to say hi to mum and dad? Tell them you're famous, that you're on TV? Anything like that you want to say before we close out for the day?
I guess shout outs to Walker again. He's been really like a good, helpful guy. So,
Agreed. Walker
except against
has
land.
been.
When we paid him on land, on NA.
Speaking of land, I love the fact that the banter we developed became so blown out of proportions. It was part of the plan and worked. We are really good friends with Walker. Oftentimes
we hated each other.
he is just hanging out in our Discord, just talking to us, playing with us, guiding us. He's kind of like our mentor, and there's a lot of appreciation goes to Walker in helping develop the team and helping me also lead the team. I take a lot of advice from that guy, and there's nothing but respect for him.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So a massive thank you and a shout out again to Undead Essence and Barbaric, who have both taken time out of their busy days in the arena scene and streaming and all the rest of the stuff that goes off out of the computer chair to join us for a couple of hours with a natter on the first ever podcast for the Welcome to Arena Behind the Scenes podcast. Chill chat with Cracked. If you guys have enjoyed yourselves, I hope that we can see some reactions and some responses all over the socials. Please reach out throughout the entirety of the next week, giving us all of your feedback. We'd love to hear if there's any improvements, any extra bits you'd like to see. Even just saying thank you to the two guys here that have taken the time to join us on the stream. We'd love to hear it from you all, okay? The next episode will be coming up within the week, okay? Very latest, it will be next Friday. I am just locking down the people for the day, and this one will be coming out to follow. We're going to try and keep it on a weekly basis. If I'm going to regret saying this, if it is received well enough and people are extremely excited and there are enough teams interested, as I did have 7 teams reach out to me asking to jump on the podcast for certain reasons from the first X post, then I might even consider doing it either daily or 2 daily throughout the week, if it's worth it. The one thing I don't want to do is blow you guys out of the water with loads of it right now, and we come 3 months down the line and it's the same people coming on saying the same things, and it gets a bit stale. So little and often, it's a good surprise. You can tune in once a week and you know, right, cool, 7:30 on one of my weeknights is chill chat with Cracked time with the pros from the arena scene. You know, you can lock it into your diary and get it checked out. Not just that, guys, if you did miss out on the action, if you've just turned up a little bit late, don't worry, the VOD will be fully published as soon as we go down from being live here. And somebody is going to put their foot up my backside if I don't put together a YouTube channel and release it as the first episode for the Cracked Wisdom YouTube brand and series. So I am going to, in the next week or so, strive to try and get that locked in place. Mods, if any of you know how to do that, that's me shouting out for help. Please come help me get that done. But we will get the episode up there so you guys can rewatch it. And again, a thank you to Walker for the artwork that was put in for this today. You checked in the post. Thank you to Undead Essence and for Barbaric for taking their time out of their day to come and join me today. And finally, last but not least, thank you to you guys. All right. Without you inside of our arena games, I can't have my great fun killing you all and earning free ARP. The same said the other way around when I'm absolutely dropping the ball, okay? Without you guys in the chat, there'd be no point us here yapping, and without you guys existing all together, we wouldn't have a Tarkov community, all right? So we have been your yappers, your pro players, and your arena scene, the Welcome to Arena bench. You guys have been the best. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will look forward to seeing you next time.
So yeah, we got
So, Stripey, basically, mate, you've got to stand still. You got to let me kill you to help TFG. What we saying?
Alright.
Mate, Minute, what have you done? So bad. 9x19 is so bad. I shot him straight in the head.
Oh man!
Oh my god.
That's
I shot him clear in the face.
my point of view.
I'm just trying to get you out the friend zone, 'cause you look even better than the photos. Now send me the info. Need to dress attention, yeah. I was coming since your friend's home. Keep on trying to hide it, but your friends know. I only got you minutes. I've the only got that happened. I only love it when you touch me. Feel me. When I'm fucked up, that you kill me. You said
Right, chat, we're going to go and join Dev Demith, who is currently playing some Escape from Tarkov Arena. Please come and join me in welcoming them an absolutely cracked evening in their stream. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will look forward to seeing you all next time. Biggest of love. Appreciate you all. Stay positive.